What is happening, birds and nerds? My name is Phil B. Water. With me tonight to start everything off is Bloody. How's it
Hello
going,
there.
Bloody?
Pretty good, pretty good. Pretty excited for this matchup.
Good, man. Good. So tonight's a little bit different for those of you who are regular viewers. We are going to be kicking off the night with America's Tour. Well, it's a qualifier for the America's Tour, the Canada, America, or U.S. qualifier specifically. And after that, then we'll be jumping into the round of 8, and then the final rounds, or the round of 4, and then the final round of the Tuesday night hype. So we are going to be kicking off the night though with this match, which is going to be between Phonetap and Hazey. Correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Phonetap and Hazey. It's very interesting. Phonetap is going to be bringing Warlock, Hunter, and Druid, but Hazey we're seeing Warrior, Priest, and Warlock. And I
Yeah.
have not seen Priest in a tournament in a while, and I'm really excited to see what
Yeah,
can
so
come out
it
of
should be interesting. And just so the viewers know, it's actually Conquest form with one ban. So they've all chosen 4 decks. Hazy has actually banned Phonetap's Paladin, and Phonetap has actually banned Hazy's Druid. So I guess before we get started, what are your feelings on why they banned those specifically, considering the lineup that they're bringing?
Let's see. All right. So I feel like mid-range Paladin is an overall winning deck. It really has potential over everything, and it has a lot of versatility. And so I feel like eliminating it from the matchup is a really smart move. And from the other angle, the exact same argument can be made for Druid.
True.
Um,
And I think the
although,
same argument can be made for Secret Paladin if the Paladin is a Secret Paladin or a
oh, of
mid-range
course,
Paladin.
yeah, just avoid the cancer entirely.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I definitely agree. And then Phonetap, he's bringing a Lock Hunter Druid, so, or rather, Hazy's bringing the Lock Priest Warrior, so I think banning the Druid is definitely a good call. Um,
Yeah,
I mean, the only solid matchup he has in that, I think, is the Warrior, but, I would go with the 2 for 3 as opposed to the 1 for 3.
definitely, definitely. Now, now, what do you think we're going to see first? Just random predictions, casters calls.
Random predictions. I think Hazy's going to come out of the gate with his Warrior, and I think Phonetap's going to come out of the gate with his Warlock.
Okay, so
No, his Hunter. I think he's going to bring out his Hunter.
really interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
from what I've seen, Hunter usually seems almost like a comeback mechanism, or it works really well as one.
That's
Um,
very true. But I think it also has the potential to come out of the gates really, really fast and get that nice first win. Then you don't have to worry about it from that point on.
yeah, definitely. Now, what kind of Hunter do you think that is? Do you think there's a chance we're going to see Face Hunter today?
I couldn't even guess. I mean, Face Hunter's coming back into the meta a little bit, but mid range is still just as strong. It's so hybrid strong. There's a lot of strong hunters out there, so um, yeah, we'll have to
Yeah,
see. But I'm gonna let the players know that they can get ready.
yeah, they're good to go. And interestingly enough, I think I saw, forget who it was exactly, earlier today, I saw someone play a Fell Reaver in their mid-range hunter.
Yeah,
It really
during
added a lot of,
the World
yeah,
Championship, not
exactly,
qualifiers, but the playoffs or whatever you want to call them.
yeah.
Yeah, so
And so if
that
we're
was
seeing
definitely
that
interesting.
deck,
That was Ping Ping Ho brought that, correct?
I think so.
Yeah,
I
it was
think
really
that's why I
interesting.
couldn't
So
remember his name.
I wonder if we'll see something interesting coming out of these players like that.
Yeah. Well, these are two really, really great players, so you can only expect that the decks are tweaked, maybe a little bit or maybe a lot. Maybe we're going to see something entirely new that we've never seen before. I'm
Definitely. I
hoping
mean,
for that.
I'm excited to see the priest, and we have 2 warlocks, so you know how much I love warlock.
Oh, yes. Warlock, so fun. The handlock matches are fun, the zoo lock matches are crazy.
True, true. Just waiting for these players to get started though. They should be getting ready to go. I have to let them know.
Yes.
Just remind Phonetap that he can start. So we'll see if we can
It
hop
might
into
just
this
be,
pretty soon.
yeah, they might still just be picking classes. Or
Yeah,
learning it.
they might still just be kind of pondering, what they want to start with, trying to counter their opponent's lineup. Like I said, I think Phonetap's going to bring out that Hunter. I think it does really well against. It can do really well against Warlock and Priest. Well,
Yeah.
Priest can be a toss-up. Warrior's a little bit tougher, but maybe
It all
he's not
depends
going
on
to
what
start
type
with
of
Hunter.
hunter.
Hmm?
I mean, if Hunter is face Hunter, then you could see it get shut down easily by Warrior and Priest. That
Yeah,
would be
that
pretty
exactly. That's why I'm actually going back on my decision here. I think he might not start with Hunter.
Yeah.
but we'll have to see.
In my personal experience, I always find Druid the best start because it really is such a versatile deck.
Yeah.
It's so all around that against Warrior, Priest, and Warlock, you really take care of some things with Druid.
Yeah.
Now,
So
are they starting?
I was gonna say, what else can we talk about in this matchup? But because it says they are still preparing to battle a friend, so I'm still waiting on them to get started. And Phonetap hasn't answered me.
Hmm. Is Hazey saying anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, there we go. I
Okay.
just got the option to spectate.
There we are. So we're going in now.
Yep, we should be. It should be in just a second. I'm just gonna get the spectates up, and we'll be good.
Alrighty. Yeah. Wonder what's gonna happen. I'm really excited. I'm really hoping there's some great priest shenanigans. I want to see some great thought steals. I want to see thought steal and Alexstrasza and like a Justicar or something from that warrior. That'd be great.
That would be very interesting.
Oh, there's priest right off the bat and druid. Great start in my opinion.
Agreed. Agreed.
Alrighty, so priest is starting out. Oh, so the priest is
it?
dragon priest.
Yeah,
It's not
dragon
the classic
priest,
control
and he's sticking
priest.
with the classic chill maw.
Alrighty, nice. Well, that
While you
dragon
talk
roll
about
is
that, I'm gonna
definitely-
take care of something. So, how about you just do me a favor and ramble about the match a little bit?
Sure thing. Alrighty, so we see here Darnassus Aspirant turn 2. Really great. He doesn't have a turn 4 play, but I mean he has Shade to follow up just in case that dies. Doesn't seem like it's gonna be that way though. Wyrmrest Agent or Northshire Cleric and Power Word Shield. Those are equally great plays. Let's
I
see.
think throwing down the agent here is definitely the better play for Hazey. It doesn't. There's no way for him to actually kill the Darnassus Aspirant, so being able to stop that damage is always a plus, and he should be able to take care of it next turn.
Exactly. So let's see here. I
And,
mean, for Phonetap, there isn't too much of a follow-up play besides just playing a Shade, really.
yeah, which I think is why he threw down the Darnassus Aspirant. If he lost it, he would still be able to play the Shade.
Yeah, it just gives some protection from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's
Though he
see.
does
Okay.
tap into a swipe. Not going to do too much,
Okay.
but I think he's going to go for it. I mean, it does give him a clean board. He doesn't
Yeah.
have to deal with much, and he still sits on a 2-1. So, actually a pretty obvious play there.
Yeah, and I'd say one of the biggest problems against Priest is against Dragon Priest is if you let their board get out of control, then it's done. There's really no comeback mechanism for that one.
This is true.
'Cause
Is
for
it
all
you,
you know-
you and me both are rocking rocking the hoarse voice today. I'm a little tired out from yesterday, and you got a nice cough going on.
Yeah, allergy season.
Allergy
it?
season, that'll do it.
Yeah.
So Phonetap drops that Druid of the Claw. Another good pickup on the draw, without a
Okay.
doubt. He's going to be able to
Druid of-
protect that
Oh.
Darnassus Aspirant, and definitely consider throwing down Sylvanas next turn.
Yes. Although I'm not too sure that he would want to throw down the Sylvanas just quite yet.
I agree, but it does also increase his mana count just to have some options.
Agreed. So he so he will play that Twilight Guardian. So Sylvanas actually looks like a pretty good play here, because even if he gets Shadow Word Death, then he's guaranteed taking something, it seems. Unless he kills off his own... Well, he can't kill off his own Northshire Cleric.
Yeah. I think dropping the Sylvanas was definitely the play there, though. For one reason, and it's just because Sylvanas can be really annoying to deal with, especially when you have a minion on the board. So it just
Sylvanas is just known to make your opponent play very awkwardly.
yeah, exactly. I think we discussed this yesterday a few times. Every time Sylvanas comes down, it's just annoying to deal with.
Yeah. Alright, so he chooses to Valen's Chosen here, leaving the Sylvanas up, and drawing a card. That's pretty good. Keeps your card draw going, keeps a nice, pretty tanky minion on the board, and makes the guy with Sylvanas, Phonetap, now play a little awkwardly, because he doesn't know whether he wants to follow up, or whether he wants to kill the Northshire.
Definitely, he kind of turned the tables there a little bit on Hazey or on Phonetap rather. taking that awkwardness and kind of just putting it back onto his lap.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we got to think about what Phonetap is thinking. He's thinking, I should probably just wean him down, get him closer to combo. Hopefully, I draw into my Savage Roar. I have an Innervate.
Yeah,
Next turn could be lethal if everything plays well, and if that Chillmaw isn't played. But it's not
that's
like
true.
Chillmaw's coming out.
I don't think we're gonna see a Chilmaw. I don't think Hazey's really he's too worried about getting hit by a combo just yet.
Yeah, no, it's nothing to expect. Turn 6.
I mean,
really
we all
should
know
never-
druids. They can be sneaky fellas, so
Oh, of
you
course.
never
Yeah.
know. But this is definitely a solid play, though. He's going to be able to clean up the board, take
Yeah,
out that
this is
shade,
what-
takes out Sylvanas. Only loses his minion, or does lose his minion. But I mean,
Yeah.
not handing it over is definitely the play to make. So that was a solid play coming out from Hazey.
Yeah, and that Azure Drake was a great pickup. It helps you cycle through a few more cards.
Get
It
a
helps you
4/4
keep your
on the
tempo
board.
going. Because
Yep,
honestly,
exactly.
without that, you probably would have been forced to just play BGH. It would not have been a comfortable position for Phonetap.
Yeah.
As far as cards go, it seems like Phonetap is not at the advantage here. It seems like Hazey has quite. Oh wow, top deck boom, turn 7.
That is a beautiful, beautiful pick up there. Dr.
Yeah.
Boom coming out on turn 7. So, how do we think Phonetap is going to deal with this best?
I think he's probably going to swing at a Boombot with his hero power, Boombot with his Azure Drake, throw down BGH.
Yeah.
However, he might opt to not swing at it with his hero power, so he could drop a 4/6 taunt. Although I don't see too many other options for what he might want to do.
I think cleaning up the board is, that's actually kind of a tough question.
Yeah, because at the same time he could elect to just hit face, BGH, or maybe swipe the face, hit the face, BGH. Maybe he might just push for the damage. Okay, so he turns out to go with what seems to be the safer play.
Yeah, and gets a little bit of luck there. He doesn't lose his Drake quite yet.
Yeah.
I think if he's lucky, the Boombot will actually hit face, but we'll see. It does end up hitting the Drake, so it soaks
Okay.
up some damage though, so it's not a terrible
That's so good
terrible
the damage,
situation.
but at the same time, against Priest, keeping your health up isn't like you're not really expecting a burst from a Priest. So
Yeah, that's
sometimes
true.
it pays a lot more to have board dominance as opposed to that health advantage.
He does have a decent bit of board dominance here though, with a 4/6 and a 4/2. But if that Chillmaw comes down, that is going to be very annoying to deal with, and it looks like it's going to come
course.
down.
I think a top deck keeper would be excellent here.
I
But other
agree.
than that, I'm not really seeing too much that could help.
Yeah, and he's still got a pretty thick deck, so the chances of top decking it not all too high. We'll see what kind of what
Well,
level
actually,
of
how many
RNG
cards
he
does
operates
have in
on. How many cards do you have? 18.
there? Okay, so it's 1 and
Oh,
9.
there it is, though.
There it is. Alrighty.
Keeper of the Grove coming out. So I think that is probably the obvious play. I don't think
Yeah.
you go for any other option there. You silence the Chillmaw, it gives you board advantage.
Exactly. You silence the Chillmon, you just swing at face. Maybe even swipe face if you're trying to push hard, but I would not against the Priest because they could come back any second.
Now, whether it's the right play or not, I don't know, but an optional play, he has to assume he drops Chillmaw with the dragon in hand, so he should expect that 3 damage to come out as the death rattle. However, if he wanted to, he could ping the Chillmaw with the Keeper Grove, trade the BGH and stuff before 3 on the board, but and take care of. So that's the way to take care of the 6/6. If he wants to push for damage, then he wants to silence the Chillmaw here, and I think that's what he's thinking about.
Yeah, I don't see too much of a reason to not silence it. 'Cause,
Neither do I, but just an alternate play. I saw him thinking, and I wasn't sure what he was going to go for. But he does elect to actually swipe it, and probably trade the BGH in, or he could just leave it low. He likes to
he's
trade the
trading
BGH in.
BGH in. Yeah, so this is a pretty smart play because he knows that he has Force of Nature. He has 13 damage next turn, providing
True.
he doesn't draw his Savage Roar. And if he does draw a Savage Roar, it's more than lethal. It's not too much that a Priest could stop.
Yeah, and he'll be sitting at 10 mana, so he can use that Wild Growth to cycle if he doesn't pick up the damage he needs.
Yeah. And of course, if he does bring up his Savage Roar, he knows that not even a Death Lord would be able to stop him.
Yeah, this is very true.
Yeah, so I think he's pretty confident in, and I think he believes in the heart of the cards. Another Yu-Gi-Oh reference again. I mean, as a druid, you always got to believe. You always just got to pray for that Savage Roar. At
This is
this
very
point, it's a
true.
1 in 8.5 pickup chance, and that's not. It's not a terrible, odd to bet on.
So let's look at Hazey's side though. What do you do as Hazey here? I mean, you're sitting at 15 health. You have to be worried about combo at this point. You have
Oh,
to be
he's
worried
probably
about
terrified of combo.
it.
It seems he's just going with the Valence Chosen, building up a pretty sticky minion, and healing himself up.
And whether or not it'll be enough, we'll have to see what Phonetap draws into. Sitting on
Yeah.
a 12 damage. Ancient Allure, definitely not a bad pickup. He's going to be able to
Not bad
cycle
at
with
all.
this, and as long as he can keep board dominance, he should be in a really good position to set up lethal.
Yeah.
His next turn.
I mean, even if he picks up another Force of Nature, that gets him just about lethal next turn. Because he'll do, well, let's see. He'll do 7 damage now, bring him down to 10. The gal will heal 2. Eh. I think he'll get pretty close. I don't think Hazey will be able to clear. And there's the Savage Roar. So now all he has to do is bring him to 12. 'Cause he can
Yeah.
heal 2, and what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I don't think there's very many good options, and he's going to trade the Keeper of the Grove into the Northshire Cleric, further denying card draw, which is definitely the play to make there. And he just has such a board. He's got combo in hand. There's really not many ways for Hazey to get out of this, and I don't see any of them on board or
No,
in
it's a
hand,
very
I should
safe
say.
play. Because at this point, there's no reason to be cocky about it. I mean, you pretty much know you won, so you're just trying to deny any chance of the tides turning dramatically.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, technically, a Light Bomb doesn't save him, a Holy Nova doesn't save. So I don't think there's many cards that could have saved Hazey there, but he was definitely playing safe with that.
Yeah, of course, of course. And
Um,
so we will see game 1 go to Phonetap.
yeah,
It's
I
really
don't
true.
I don't think that he'll miss this lethal.
No, there's no way. There's not a lethal to miss.
This is very true.
Yeah.
And I mean, Hazey's just doing he's doing the best he can. He's just trying to build up enough of a board, and he's just praying to the gods that Phonetap doesn't have combo in hand. But we know that combo
We
is
know,
sitting
and
there.
I'm sure he knows.
I
At a certain
think
point-
he knows. Yeah.
At a certain point, you gotta assume that they have combo. By
Yeah.
the time at least like 20 to 15 cards in.
It's very true. So, game 1
Who are we
going to
going?
Phonetap.
Yeah, game 1. So Phonetap cannot play his Druid anymore, which that leaves him with, let's see, Warlock or Hunter. And Hazey can play his Dragon Priest again, which is a pretty good matchup against Hunter and not too great against Warlock. So he could decide any any of his 3.
Yeah. What would you
Think
do
he'll
if you
come
were in
out.
his shoes?
I would play Priest again. I
Play
find
Priest
that
again?
if I lose the first time around, it sort of eliminates a bad matchup for me.
Yeah.
And so I think I have better odds. And also, once I've started with a deck, I feel like if I jump from deck to deck to deck, it gets a little inconsistent. At least it's like it's an easy way to tilt, if that makes sense.
By what? Switching decks?
Yeah, I feel like. So say I start with a deck and I lose, and I start with another deck and then I lose. I mean, at that point, I'm not confident. I'm not thinking too straight. I don't know. That's just me. There was a time where I was up 2-0 in Conquest, and so I decided to play Freeze Mage, and then I lose. Then I played Tempo Mage, and then I lose. And like at that point, I was just switching between decks. And I think I played Warrior or something. No, I didn't play Warrior. I played Druid, and I went up against a Freeze Mage, and I just got destroyed. I just started tilting at that point.
Yeah.
I felt as though if I had stuck with one thing, maybe if I stuck with Tempo Mage or I stuck with Druid, then it'll be a different story. Because it's hard to see yourself lose with one certain deck 3 times in a row, as opposed to losing 3 decks 3 times in a row.
Yeah, so Hazey is going to elect to change decks here. He's going with his warrior, and Phonetap is going to be picking up his hunter here. So it does appear to be a mid or a hybrid hunter. I mean, he's got Savannah Highmane and Shredder in hand and Lotheb.
Yeah.
That is a
Okay.
clunky and slow start for Phonetap.
It's a slow start, but it's exactly what you want against the Warriors, without a doubt.
Yeah, no, that's very true. And he picks up a two
There you
drop.
go, Knife Juggler.
He can
And
hope that it goes unanswered, but I don't see that going his way.
Yeah, I don't think anybody does. I mean, the fact that he doesn't have a fiery war axe is a miracle on its own. But you know, actually, it might be worth saving the coin. Well, what's a Knife Juggler gonna do to you? You gotta wonder, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, especially because as a warrior, you're not going to play, 3 or 4 minions at a time. You're not going to have to worry about
Yeah.
hounds. But he does decide to take care of it. Definitely plenty of merit to that play, though. Armoring
No.
up a little bit, taking care of the Night Juggler, no worries. Liak, not. I don't know if
Yeah,
there was
yeah.
really a good minion to come out of Animal Companion there. He just had to
Yeah.
play on curve.
I think Misha probably would have been the best to play.
Yeah.
Because if anything, he can't die to weapon swing, and he'll pump out a little more damage. Although I'm curious here if Hazey wants to armor up and shield slam. I think he's considering it, but you got to remember what you could use that shield slam on later on in the game, and that 2 damage really isn't a big deal as a warrior, especially.
No, that's very true. Like you said, though, this is the kind of hand Phonetap wants. My first thought was it was very clunky, very slow, but it's very strong. So he's got a big turn 4, a big turn 5, and a big turn 6 to follow. And my dog is whining in the background, so
Well,
pardon
definitely
me. I'm
piled
gonna let her out of my room so I don't have to worry about a dog ruining our cast.
I'll take over for a moment. Well, he definitely is trying to pile on the minions here. Whether he plays Lotheb or not is really interesting.
I
because
apologize
Lotheb is great.
for that stream. I just didn't want to have you listening to a dog whining to get out of my room for the next 10 minutes.
No problem at all, I'm sure.
Yeah.
As I was saying, Lotheb is a Lotheb is a very interesting decision. I personally would just go with the Mad Scientist and Hero Power, because I feel like Lotheb is very, very valuable later on, possibly to protect the big board from Brawl, or to protect someone from getting executed or Shield Slam. And I feel like playing Lotheb now would be good, it would keep him up, and so it's a lot better. It's great for bursting someone down, but I don't think it's gonna be great in the late game if he plays him now.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's merit to staying on curve because
Oh, of
staying
course.
on curve is just about as good as you can get. The one plus to playing Lotheb now as opposed to later is later it can be useful against something like a Brawl or maybe him removing something significant like Savannah Highmane. But right now it eliminates shield slams, it eliminates executes, and it eliminates basically anything that can take care of this board. So he's forced to take the 5 damage to face if he wants to take out Lotheb right here.
Yeah.
So Lotheb
Which is a
becomes
great
a sticky
point,
minion just because of its passive.
Yeah. I was essentially just trying to protect the uncommon play in that situation.
Yeah.
But it seems like he went with obvious. He played Lotheb on curve. He's probably going to play Savannah Highmane on curve. He's probably going to
No,
take
he will
out
not
that
play Savannah Highmane. There's no reason to play Savannah. No, Savannah Highmane is just about the only way to go here.
Yeah.
Taking out the
that's
shield maiden, or
That's
sorry,
just like saying you shouldn't play
Master.
Dr. Boom because you
Yeah.
already manage.
Dr. Boom. What a great card.
Oh, what a wonderful card. Let's see. So he has a Savannah Highmane. He has a Shredder. Although Hazey's hand is nothing but removal. It's a little
Yeah.
unfortunate for Phone
So
Tap, because
he
Phone
gets to
Tap
take care
is
of
not
this
made
easily.
Of big minions.
And the weapon's gonna deal with one of the 2/2s, or if he wants, he can just take out the 4/1. Let's see what he elects to do. I think taking out the Shredder is most likely the best play.
I agree with you. The Shredder just spells more damage, more trouble. If you have the choice to take out all the beasts, if say you're getting, aggro down, that's one
Yeah.
story. There's really no reason to take them out. Now we do see a Houndmaster.
Yeah, so I do retract my statement from the beginning of this match. I thought it was a hybrid deck. It looked exactly like a hybrid hand, but it looks like it's a mid-range hunter, or maybe some
Yeah.
kind of a mix between the two. But we haven't seen any of the aggro cards you find in a hybrid hunter, so I think it's focused on being a mid-range
I would
hunter here,
definitely think
especially
it's
with King Zella coming up.
mid-range. Yeah, mid-range beast hunter, because King Zelic is a dead giveaway, and actually Houndmaster is a dead giveaway as well.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
it's not hybrid and it is not aggro, um, which is actually his best bet against Warrior. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, Warrior just seems like has just so much armor, so much protection.
He
I don't know
does,
how he
but I
gets
mean,
there.
this is a big board from Phonetap. Um,
Mm. Well, I mean, look, he's got a 2/2, a 0/2, and there's a brawl in the hand.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll
but
say.
he's burn. I mean, it's not a big board, but he's burning some of that removal pretty quickly.
Yeah, he's definitely getting through some of that. He's definitely getting his health significantly lower than
Yeah.
I would have expected him to be at by now.
Oh, Web Spinner
ugh.
versus Doctor Boom. Not gonna win
Well,
that joust.
at least he knows Dr. Boom isn't in there, as if not playing him on turn 7 was a dead giveaway.
Yeah.
So you will opt to take out the Shield Maiden, and I mean, if I were him, I would probably buff up the Alec, but I'm not quite
I
sure
think that's what he's gonna do.
There it is.
Yeah. I mean, that's a formidable board again. Um,
Yeah, so he keeps pumping out these great boards, and let's see if he could keep doing that to secure himself the win.
yeah. I mean,
for-
Sylvanas is a
value.
good pickup on Hazey's side though. But Doctor Boom is in a way a counter to that. I mean, but Hazey has Brawl, so
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I mean, Phonetap has no way of knowing that, but
yeah.
definitely, he brawls, those two boombots could hit face for 4 and 4, and that would be fantastic.
Yeah,
day.
he's still not in a bad position here. He's got the boombots that are going to go off, and he has an egg that's going to pop. So,
Exactly. So he does go with a shield block before the brawl, just in case both of those hit face for 4.
which is a very smart play.
Yeah, definitely protect yourself from the horse shit,
Yeah.
the ridiculousness.
And Hazey's going to pick up a 4-3 off that. Or, no, 4. I thought the egg wouldn't go off until afterwards, but apparently it does. And it hits the 4-2, so it soaks up some damage.
Okay.
No damage to face. He's going to have a 4-3. Phonetap has a 4-3. Another Shredder, a pretty decent pickup.
Yeah, at
he,
this point,
he doesn't have much left to do. I mean, at
but
this
he
point,
also
sorry.
doesn't have much health left to burn through.
yeah. I mean, but
Well-
Alex Strauss is gonna, change that.
Yeah, Alex Strauss is definitely a wonderful card to play there.
Yeah, so we'll have to see what happens. Oh, it looks like our video has finally updated, and we have a phone tap on stream now.
All right,
So that's
awesome.
that's kind of cool.
Great. Yeah, because so far on the stream, because there is a delay, he's still just an ear of a shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hazey's thinking about what to do here, though. I think Alex Strauss is the obvious play. And taking out that 4-3, trading his 4-3 for Phonetap's 4-3. Web Spinner not going to do very much. I wonder what kind of traps he runs, though. He's most likely going to trade the Mad Scientist in here, send the Shredder face. We're going to see what kind of trap comes out. And he runs Freezing Trap, so...
Yeah. I would expect nothing other than Freezing Trap. Maybe a Bear Trap, because we saw some Houndmasters for some Beast
yeah,
energy.
bear traps are kind of one-trick punnies, though. I don't think a lot of people run them because they are, once somebody knows you have a bear trap, it's very easy to play around it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's definitely it's always worth surprising people with your secrets, though. It's always a fun
Definitely.
thing to do. I mean, I run Snipe once in a while just to mess with people entirely, and sometimes it works really well. But I'm sure no one in their right mind would do that.
Yeah, run Snipe. I'm literally laughing at the thought of playing something into Snipe and just being like, why does he have that?
Yeah. No, I mean, I have a golden Snipe for reasons that people don't need to know.
Hey man, whatever floats your boat. Oddly
Alright,
enough, a
that
little
creeper that Haunted Creeper is not exactly what he wanted.
No, he wanted
I
to
feel
draw
like,
into the rest of his late game.
yeah. Oh
Whoa!
my
King
gosh!
Crush off the web spinner. I mean, that's 10
I was
damage
about to
this
say.
turn.
Yeah, I was about to say, if he gets King Crush, this would be a very interesting game. Um,
I think that keeps him in it. This was starting to sway towards Hazey's favor, but that keeps him in it. I mean, it can get executed. Well, no, it yeah, it can get executed. No, wait.
it can, but
No, it can't.
no.
It
Oh, it
can't.
cannot. Oh, he wins. Yeah,
I
that
think he
freezing
wins
trap.
because if the he can't activate the execute because of the freezing trap. If he plays Shield Maiden, he doesn't have enough mana to tank with face and execute.
Yeah. I mean, it's not necessarily that he wins, but he's pretty darn close to winning.
I don't know what you do here.
I mean, you Shield Maiden.
I mean, I don't know how you
Like
come back for,
face.
or how do you deal with a King Crush though on the board.
So, at this point, Phonetap just needs to draw into any damage to secure this win.
Yeah, so he's especially depending on what Hazey does. Hazey doesn't elect to armor up, so he needs to draw into 1 damage.
Yeah.
That's all he needs to win this game.
And he hasn't drawn Unleash the Hounds yet.
And there it is.
Come
Unleash the Hounds coming out and giving
One
Phone
piece of
Tap the
damage.
victory.
Yeah.
That is oh man. Hazey has to be a little bit salty right now. A King Crush is the most annoying thing to see come out of a Ram Wrangler or a Web Spinner. More a Ram Wrangler, but in this case, coming off the Web Spinner, it gives him the win. Oh my
Yeah.
god. And
We're looking at him with this tiny board. He's got nothing going on. He's running out of steam. And this Web Spinner just comes in and poops out a King Crush. It's actually amazing. I love it when these things happen. That's
yeah.
why I love Web Spinner, Unstable Portal, Ram Wrangler. I was hoping to see, what's her name? Confessor Paltress in that beast deck, but unfortunately not.
Yeah. So
And
that
again,
was
I'm going to say I hope to see Bane of Doom in one of these, but no, they both seem to be hand locked.
yeah, it does appear to be. And Hazey changed his deck up again. So we'll have the handlock mirror.
Yeah.
Which
so-
I always lose, but that's because I'm not a good player. So,
Well, the handlock mirror is a very interesting one. It really depends on how much removal you get, because one of them could be filled with one hand could be filled with mountain giants and Tharson and drakes, and the other hand could just be ancient watchers and small taunts. So it's whoever gets the good side in the coin, really.
yeah, this is true. So, it's going to be the usual Warlock, tap pass until like turn 4. So a big pickup there for Hazey, grabbing the Mountain Giant. Is going to make his turn 4 a lot stronger.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about these hands so far, though?
So far, I'm trying to think.
I mean,
I
Hazey's,
think
Hazey's picking up some decent draws. I was a little bit in favor of Phone Taps, but Phone Taps getting some good draws
I was
too,
gonna
though.
say. So the way I see it right now is Phone Tap. Okay, Phone Tap will play his Watcher, so you can play Mountain Giant next. And how is Hazey gonna answer that? Is the real question.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
true.
he'll
And
probably
I mean, I
have-
think this is smart to go with the Drake though. It plays around stuff like Big Game Hunter. So that's definitely a smart play for Hazey. But like you said, Hazey doesn't really have answers yet, and
He
as
has
you
he has
mentioned as
one
well.
answer to a giant. I mean, he'll swing his Drake into the giant, Dark Bomb, Mortal Coil.
Yeah,
And then
so you're right. He does have one answer, but
Where is that Mortal Coil?
I
Can't
I
quite
feel like
see
you're
it.
making things up.
Is there no Mortal Coil there?
There is no Mortal Coil. You're making things up.
I was almost positive I saw one. Wow.
I just went to look because you're like, and he can use the Mortal Coil, and I was like, there is no Mortal Coil.
Yeah. I guess I almost wanted Hazey to have a Mortal Coil. That's
Maybe.
unfortunate. My mind just played tricks on me there.
So Phone Tap's given this play some thought because he does have the Owl, and silencing the 4/9 into a 4/1 and dark bombing it is also an excellent play. It gives him
Definitely some
serious
good value.
board dominance.
And you could still play the Mountain Giant next turn.
Yeah, yeah, he has no worry of having or worry of when he can and cannot play that Mountain Giant. He's got a pretty big hand right now, so he can squeeze it out at some point.
Okay, and so now the Mountain Giant is played and will very likely just be answered by BGH.
Yeah,
But from the other angle, you could always taunt up your Watcher, and then okay, so he just BGHs and taps. He goes with a safer and more conservative play,
Yeah, I
and
think I think this is the play because you don't quite have to worry about Shadow Flame quite yet. I mean, he's got to get a minion on the board and Shadow Flame it to take care of it. The only thing he can get on the board is Ancient Watcher, so he still leaves Phonetap's Ancient Watcher on the board, and that's just to deal with a 4-2 and a 2-1. So he has to Dark Bomb it. He's going to throw down an Ancient Watcher and tap. So it does slightly set up for a future Dark Bomb, but we see that Thaurissan in hand for Phonetap, and that is going to get dropped instantly on turn 6.
That is just swinging the game into his favor at this point.
Yeah.
Because now you have all these giants that you can still play with your card advantage. I mean, actually, you can play both giants next turn, right?
Yeah.
One will be 3, the other will be 4. So you can play 2 giants. We can tell that Phonetap has been hesitant of attacking with his owl. He's actually been keeping Hazey above Molten Giant range.
Yeah. Oddly enough,
I'm
both
sure-
of them are lacking the Molten Giant, so it doesn't really matter all too much. But
Well, the difference is, I believe that Phonetap would be able to deduce that he hasn't played any Mountain Giants yet, so he doesn't have them in hand. And so he's just kind of eliminating the possibility of any giant being played,
Yeah.
giving himself for edge.
yeah, that's very true. Hey, there's your Mortal Coil, though, by the way.
Oh yeah, that was there the whole time. I know what you're talking about.
So he's going to elect to go with Dr. Boom here. I don't think he had very many other options. Sylvanas had a bit of merit in being played, but was kind of off curve and sets him low in health, but he's not playing into the Molten Giant, so there's no reason to worry about your health too much yet.
So let's talk about this. Do you think it's worth playing something new and Shadow Flaming it, or sacrificing your Thaurissan and then maybe summoning down a giant?
Oh, man. That's
What would be more valuable to you? I mean, I know Thaurissan is let's see. Thaurissan will definitely give him some more
I think personally I would play a giant and Shadow Flame it. Because Thaurissan will not die to a Boombot.
Yeah.
If he gets hit, he just soaks up damage. The Ancient Watcher is there to soak up damage. And the Owl's there to soak up damage. But he likes to
and
trade.
He decides to just kill the Dr. Boom. And
there's plenty of merit to that play as well. I mean, he's got 2 8/8s on the board, and Hazey has 2 1/1s on the board. Both of them have, 4/5, but that's not going to do all too much.
3 damage of burst, and he has an owl to silence his own Watcher. So if Hazey doesn't do much here, there might actually be a lethal play.
Yeah, but he did pick up the BGH on the draw, so it's going to keep him in the game.
We'll keep him in it, but I don't know how in it he could be at this point.
Yeah, very true. And the bigger his board gets, the more valuable Sylvanas gets.
Of course. Alright, so he does go for that Shadow Flame, I believe. He's thinking about it.
Yeah, he decides to go for it. And it does let him clean up the Ancient Watcher. See where the Boombots go. Does he have a Dark... He does have a... the Dark Bomb doesn't do anything, though. But he does luck out and get enough damage to use that Mortal Coil that you were talking about, so...
That Mortal Coil that he's had the whole time.
That was a really clean play by Hazey.
Yeah, that was a very good job. I'm trying to decide, personally, if I would play my Sylvanas, but I think Sylvanas is best to be saved with Shadow Flame.
Yeah, I agree. That is a really awesome combination play there. I think you might tap, see what you get, and then throw down that Twilight Drake.
Yeah, or he's wow, he's going for Jiraxis right away.
It's not a terrible play at all.
Yeah, it's not too bad. He has a lot of taunts to protect his face now that he is at 15, and I guess he is trying to set up those 6/6s as soon as he can.
Yeah, and as long as he can retain board control, he's just going to be able to keep throwing out those 6/6s every turn. But Ooze a pretty nice card to run, whether in the mirrored matchup or in the matchups against Warrior. So it serves him very well in this matchup here.
Yeah, definitely. Did a great job there. That takes away half of Jiraxxus's power. So he essentially took 7 damage. I mean, he is summoning 6/6s. That's great and all, but that weapon's gone. That's a little unfortunate.
Yeah. I think he might Shadow Flame the Inferno to clean up the board.
That would be the seemingly correct play. And then probably Twilight Drake before he did that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Phonetap's choice to play Jiraxxus there was still the right play. He has a big enough hand that he doesn't need to worry about tapping for, continued steam.
You gotta wonder if one day someone plays Consume Demon. Or what is that card? Is it Consume Demon?
Um.
The one that just kills any demon?
Oh, I think isn't it Consume Demon? I think you're right on that.
I will look it up right now because I don't want to seem not too knowledgeable.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea, and I like that play a lot by Phonetap.
Sacrificial Pact.
Sacrificial Pact. That's it.
What it was. Jeez, how didn't I forget that?
But yeah, that play from Phonetap was really solid. Play down the Lotheb and then Shadow Flaming the Lotheb keeps a 6/6 on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Savannah's coming down for Hazey though, and another Lotheb. So this is
Things are starting to look up for Hazey.
Yeah.
Interesting, because he already used both the Shadow Flames at this point. There's some Molten Giant you can throw down.
At this point, Molten Giants are essentially dead in Phonetap's hand. I mean, he needs to sit at, 5 health just to play 1?
Yeah.
So they are not going to do him very much good. So not the kind of draw he wants to see. And what's his deck sitting at? 13 cards, 12 cards on Hazey's side.
Yeah, it seems like he has cards, but it's just he's not in the right situation anymore. He seemed to have such an advantage, but sometimes handlock v handlock, having the advantage means having the disadvantage because your good cards get played out, and both of you are typically going to last a long time.
Yeah, that's true. But the Sylvanas just gets silenced, so it's not going to do all too much for Hazey. And I think he's going to taunt up on... Yeah, he decides to taunt up on the 6/6 and the 4/7. A great play there,
Good choice.
The 5/5 is not going to be able to get through any of them. He's got to burn extra cards to do anything about it.
Yeah.
My dog snuck back in my room, by the way.
It
Animals
seems
are
as
the
though
worst.
he might go for that Hellfire Dark Bomb play. Maybe even play an anti-Keelbot just because he has no giants.
Yeah.
He has no Molten Giants. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah. And he doesn't like to go for that. The Dark Bomb is going to help clean up that board.
Yeah. So now it's a clear board once again, but every single clear, Hazey just seems to be coming out a little bit more on top. And there is that second Shadow Flame.
I mean, you can say Hazey's coming out on top, but there's an Inferno coming out every turn.
That's a good point.
If you can't deal with it and then find lethal, you're not in the best situation. I mean, a 6/6 is a big minion to deal with, and when they're consistently coming out, what kind of answer does Hazey have for a 6/6 now and a 5/5 on the board?
That's a good point. Yeah, it's really unfortunate because at this point he can't really play that Jiraxxus. He just sort of dies, and I'm sure he knows that.
Yeah. And I mean, as it is, what does Phonetap have? He's got 7, 6, 13, 16 damage. So if Hazey taps here and doesn't play a heal bot, which I don't think he would tap and not play a heal bot.
Yeah. He's definitely tapping to see what he could get. Let's see what he can get. Okay, another Hellfire.
Hellfire.
Not too great, to be honest.
And like I said, he has to play that heal bot.
Yeah, he could. So he plays a heal bot. Let's see. He's thinking about playing a Watcher here. At this point, he's a bit behind. Although he's not too terrible. Okay, well the Argus came up. That's actually a lot worse of a disadvantage now.
Yeah. I mean,
Hazey is slowly starting to just lose his grip on the win here.
Yeah,
It
Phonetap
seemed
has
like he
a
may have had
pretty
to come
clean set
back,
of
but
plays too. He can play an Inferno. He can,
yeah,
Argus the other Inferno, trade the six
yeah.
six into the 4/5 to play around Mortal Coil. He has a Dark Bomb if he wants to deal with the the 3/3 that way, and then he's got enough damage to go face. He doesn't even have to go face though. He can just continue to load this board up, and make it more and more difficult for Hazey to come back.
Hmm. About the not having to go face though. Does he even have to trade? Like, what's the downside of not trading? Besides, trading for that heal bot possibly. There's no reason to get rid of that 4/5.
I mean, the only reason to get rid of it is, have there been two Shadow Flames played yet?
I believe there's been a Shadow Flame played on both ends.
Okay, so
he's clearing the 3/3. I don't think he has too much of a. Oh wow, he passes. So he passes with the obvious intention to just kill him in one turn
yeah,
instead of allowing Hazey to throw down a mountain giant, a molten giant.
which, like I said, I think is a pretty decent play. Personally, I suppose most people don't run two Shadow Flames, and that's probably what Phonetap is thinking. So he's playing around Hellfire by not trading into that 4/5, which is actually pretty smart. If he had played
Yeah.
into Hellfire, he might be sitting on a board with just like a 6/3 and a 5/2. But instead
Which
he plays
isn't
around it.
fantastic. Yeah. But at this point, I'm just trying to think, what can Hazey do to win?
Uh,
I start considering his win condition.
I don't know, because like you said, he can't play Jiraxxus. He taps into a taunt, but I mean a taunt doesn't do very much for him.
So he'll
And
probably
sadly,
get-
I mean, if he runs Molten Giants, both of them are sitting in the bottom 6 cards of his deck, which is never what you want as a Warlock. You want to get them out a little bit earlier.
What I find interesting is that both of them are playing the very classic handlock as opposed to demon handlock. Where, to be honest, I think demon handlock is a little more powerful.
Yeah,
So-
I'd have to agree. I think Demon Lock is more powerful, but I didn't even quite realize until you just said that. Like, it didn't click until you just said that they are playing classic handlock.
Yeah.
So these taunts are going to be a little bit annoying. They do sort of set up for Hellfire if Phonetap decides to trade, but he runs 2 Shadow Flames, so if he wants, he can clear the board that way.
Let's see. I mean, how much damage does he have if
If he uses the
if he Shadow
6/6,
6/6? Yeah,
he
so
would
he
have
has
what?
12, 13, 18 damage?
yeah,
19, 20. 20 damage. 23.
23.
That's a good
yeah.
deal of damage. And he could play, or he could play Dr. Boom. He could just, okay, so he does go for the Shadow Flame. I think he's going for the Shadow Flame with the intention of having Boom finish it off. But also with the idea that what's he gonna do to contest this?
Yeah,
He can
and
play
I love that
Giant.
play setting Hazey at 20 health. Like, he draws into a Molten, which would have been great if he had any less than 20 health, but that Molten doesn't do anything for him but let him tap and play it, and that'll be the end of the game if that's all he does.
It's really all he can do at this point. I don't see any other option. Do you?
I mean, no. Sadly, I don't. He has a Mountain Giant and another taunt to slow down the game. But
Phonetap is definitely playing a great game here.
yeah, and Phonetap has
I know
played
most
what, like
handlock
5 or
players-
6 Infernos?
Oh yeah, he's definitely getting the value out of that Jiraxxus. If that weapon had stuck around, it really wouldn't have made a big difference, to be honest, because he wasn't even hitting. Hazey.
Yeah. So, I think we're going to see the Drake. Let's see how I'm going to do. Probably target Sylvanas and then a little bit of a taunt to slow the game down. But this is just delaying the game. It's just not enough
delaying
for
the
Hazey.
inevitable, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't say. Oh well, there's a Siphon Soul. Now, is that lethal? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's lethal.
Alrighty. Well, that's game 3 finished.
And that would be the end of the series, would it not?
Yeah. Yes, it is. Weird. It's just Wonderful sweep by Phonetap. I think that last game wasn't as much luck as we thought it would be in the beginning because they drew through most of their decks. I think it
Yeah,
was a lot of really good plays on Phonetap's part.
definitely, definitely.
Yeah,
Um,
the constant chipping away just a little bit, but leaving him above 20 at almost all times was like a really, really solid play.
yeah,
A
and
really
like you said,
solid
he
play
just
to.
had the removal to deal with Hazey's giants and some of his bigger minions that came down, and that meant that he could play that Jiraxis safely and just start pumping out Infernos. And no deck has an answer for like 6 Infernos.
Exactly, yeah.
Unless they're all on the board at the same time and you have a 6/6 and Shadow Flame, there's nothing you can do about 6 Infernos. They keep getting pumped out turn after turn for 2 mana, and it's just
Especially,
too much to deal with.
especially if they're getting taunted. Then
Yeah,
there's nothing to do. Like
yeah, and then
you
he has a
can't ignore
Sylvanas
them.
taunted, so you can't load the board. Otherwise, you risk giving away a minion. It's just
Yeah.
that was a tough game for Hazy and a tough set of matches overall. But I think he played very well. He got a little unlucky in that Hunter matchup. King Crush come out to win that one, so that was
Yeah.
a little awesome for us, but not so awesome for Hazy, and a little extra awesome for Phonetap. Otherwise, I think we're gonna go on a break, correct? And we should have an interview coming up with Phonetap right after this. So don't touch your browsers. We'll be right back.